Hey, what's up, everyone? Good afternoon. Still on the way back from the gym. It's fight week, everyone. Mayweather, McGregor takes place this Saturday night from T-Mobile Arena in Las Vegas. So the money fight's here. It's just a matter of getting through the next couple days, getting everything ready. The press conference was earlier today, well, just about an hour ago or so. Pretty subdued. It was kind of, Mayweather was pretty low key. Conor seemed he wasn't his normal self. It is fight week though, obviously, cutting down to make weight and everything like that. All those factors on top of it does just, throw a little bit of a, not a wrench, but a little different dynamic into everything. But both guys obviously they're ready to get it going. It's going to be interesting to see exactly what does go down. You kind of see the tweets, especially from Kirk Metzler. Kirk, this is for you, man. You got to tone it down a little bit and got to be realistic. I told you that at work today. It's just, Conor McGregor has such a diehard fan base that sometimes they tend to not look realistically at some things. So there is that. With that being the case, it's obviously a lot of the McGregor fans are just basically just flat out saying he's going to win. It's going to be no issues at all. Different things like that. And Luke Thomas on the Luke Thomas show earlier today. He also mentioned it in his Q&A he did on MMA fighting on YouTube. He did mention basically, and I agree with him 1,000%. It's basically, if Conor's going to win, tell me why. Give a good reason. Don't just say he's going to win just because he's going to win. Got to have a reason. And if you kind of look at everything, it's just I'm not feeling it. Obviously, I'm pulling for Conor. I think a victory here would be just, it would be stunning. One, but it's just, it would add a lot to everything. In this case, it's just not going to happen. And honestly, it's not going to prove anything. If Floyd goes out there and wins, like I think he will, I think it's going to be a 12 round. It's going to go the distance. If that's nothing's proved. If Conor can go out there, if he can throw some pretty impressive shots, then good. It's which I think will happen. I think the first 5 or 6 rounds are going to be very intriguing because obviously Conor's not going to win this fight. He's not going to win it, via decision. It's not going to go 12 with Conor getting his hand raised. That just will not happen. If it goes 12, Floyd's winning hands down. Best case scenario, obviously, outside of Conor winning is, Conor having a good showing to where he hangs in there and makes it a really, really competitive fight. I just don't see that being the case. I see it being a competitive fight for the first 1 to 5 or 6 rounds or so because I think Conor's going to have to press. He's going to be looking for the knockout because that's really the only way Conor's going to be able to win this fight is via knockout. So if that does not happen, then, Floyd, who is the greatest fighter of our generation, especially the greatest defensive fighter of our generation, he's just going to end up wearing down Conor. And what boxing, what boxing entails, like they say, it's a sweet science. And this is Kirk. This is what you have to remember. Boxing, you can't throw those leg kicks or, anything like that. Like, you can't take them to the ground. It's just not how it works. So, therefore, any of the boxing, like the punches, they have to be precise. It's all about precision. Floyd Mayweather has that precision. It's just, the guy's incredible. He's going to go in there, pop him a couple times, back out. It's going to be a typical Floyd fight. That's just, and people were ripping on the Pacquiao fight, and I think that was a lot of people who basically they just did not understand what type of fighter Conor McGregor or Floyd Mayweather was. So in the Mayweather-Pacquiao fight, I think that a lot of fans and a lot of people I knew who were complaining about how boring of a fight that was, they just didn't understand. That's a Floyd Mayweather fight. Floyd takes his shots, and they are it is precision striking. Boom, boom, and then back out, and then he wears you down. He doesn't take a lot of damage. That's why, that's what's going to really play into this fight here, is just the fact that he doesn't take that damage. He's going to be very precise in his shots, and I think he's going to wear down Conor. I mean, Conor is one of the best fighters of our generation when it comes to MMA. I mean, Conor McGregor's Conor McGregor. The guy's incredible. It's just this is a whole different ballgame, and that's one thing that Conor fans have to realize is they've got to be realistic in this. So it's just, it's been quite the interesting lead up to it. Obviously, the first couple press conferences, the first two, in fact, were they were entertaining as all hell, and so you get that entertainment factor in it, but then everything else since then just really been kind of subdued, and that's really what we're seeing now. And you're not going to see you're not going to see in the press conference today. Obviously the boxing press conferences are much different than an MMA press conference, but you're not going to see those fireworks, especially on a day like today. Like they said, it was very subdued. It was just a media only thing, so therefore, you're not going to have all the fans there. So, the ones that kind of entice it all, that just wasn't there today. It's not going to be. So, it's definitely going to be an interesting night on Saturday. It's going to be a spectacle, which is it's what it is. It's going to be a spectacle. People have to realize that. If you want to pay that $100 to watch the, out of morbid curiosity, which is what I'm not buying the fight. I'm meeting up with a friend of mine to check it out. It's the morbid curiosity. We all know the result, what it's going to be, except for people like Kirk Metzler, my combat sports colleague here at Field Impact Sports. Kirk, it's a nice little shout out for you, buddy. But overall, it's going to be an interesting fight, especially for the first 6 rounds. Conor's going to throw a couple different looks at Floyd, which is that's why the first couple rounds are going to be interesting, because of the looks that he's going to give Floyd. But once Floyd figures you out, then it's game over. Again, he doesn't take the damage, and he just, that's obviously going to be the big key in all of this. So, it's going to be a good night. It's going to be fun. Unfortunately, again, it's not going to prove anything to anyone when it comes down to which sport's better. That's just not part of it. You're not getting that. You're not going to find that out. So people just have to kind of put that to rest. The worst case scenario here, and it would cap off a horrible week for the UFC and mixed martial arts in general, is if Conor gets absolutely throttled in this fight and gets knocked out early on. That would cap off a rough week. It started off with Brian Stann leaving the UFC to pursue other opportunities. Brian Stann, I think, is just a phenomenal. He's a really good analyst. The guy's fantastic on Fox. So he leaves to, like I said, to pursue better opportunities for him, and good for him. He deserves it. Brian Stann's really, like I said, he's really, really good. And then you get the news coming down last night. John Jones gets popped by USADA for testing positive for a steroid out of his UFC 214 fight against Daniel Cormier that saw him win the title. I mean, nothing really is out yet on this, so it's kind of, you obviously don't want to jump to conclusions without having all of the facts first. It's just kind of awkward. I did hear that, Jones has been tested, I think, 7 times so far in 2017. He was clean for 6 of them, so it was kind of odd that he would get popped for 1, especially right before, because apparently the test was, the positive test was done, I believe, right after the weigh-in, I believe is when it was. So right after the weigh-in and before the fight. So that's just kind of awkward that he would get popped positive there. It's just an awkward thing for him to do. I mean, he's not the smartest, outside, obviously, with some of his decisions he's made. So, who knows? It's a shame because this damages a lot of people. Once again, I feel awful for Daniel Cormier. DC is one of the best guys out there. He's done it clean the entire time. So for him to, to suffer here again on this is a shame, and it sucks to see, especially because in his 2 losses, both have been Jon Jones. He's been popped, and so I feel really bad for DC. I'm curious to see what's coming out of, what's going to be coming out of his camp and what he's going to be saying. I mean, because he's still suffering the effects apparently from the knockout. He was dinged a little bit. So again, feel bad for DC. Another person it hurts is Brock Lesnar. To bring the pro wrestling aspect into it, there was all the banter back and forth from Lesnar and Jon Jones saying that they would both be up for a fight, which would be a huge money fight. It wouldn't be I don't think it would be a fun fight to watch per se, but it would be quite the money maker. And unfortunately, this damages that as well, because if it is true that he did get popped exactly, for that, he's looking at a 4-year suspension. Essentially, his career's done. So with Jon Jones getting popped there, we saw the last of Jon Jones. We saw the last of him at UFC 214. He's not going to be able to survive a 4-year suspension and come back. It's just not going to happen. So even if there is a way for him to get out of it, out of the full 4-year suspension, he's looking, I mean, my God, best case scenario would obviously be 1. He's going to be suspended. So I think any length of time Jon Jones is out, I think his career's done. Could you see him go to the WWE? That's an interesting aspect of things. Vince McMahon always, he wants to, Vince is always thinking ahead. A lot of people I heard on the radio today were saying, Vince wouldn't do that. He's not going to, especially, hurt his reputation especially with the steroid incidents that happened in years past. Well, Brock got popped for steroids after UFC 200, and look where. That's exactly right. Jones will make a great 30 for 30. Sadly, it'll be a down 30 for 30 because it's just the stuff he's been through. Just an incredible career. Is derailed by stupidity and bad decisions, all on Jon Jones himself. That's a great point, Jeff. It is. It's just he'll definitely make a great 30 for 30. So. Like I said, kind of spinning off that WWE aspect, could you see Jon Jones in WWE? You've started to see some MMA fighters transition over to pro wrestling. A lot of the women, there's talk of the 4 horsewomen. Ronda Rousey obviously is a big pro wrestling fan. She's looking to get into pro wrestling. Shayna Baszler, she's in that Mae Young Classic. Another one, so you've got that transition there to where you could see more, more opportunities open up for somebody like Jon Jones in the pro wrestling, into that area it's just going to depend. But as for MMA career, I think John Jones is done. It's just, again, it's just not. It's not where it is. He's done. He's done his damage. He's hurt his legacy completely. So, this news was just, topping off everything so far right after the news of Brian Stan leaving his post. Then you get the John Jones. And then now, again, if Conor McGregor, if he gets, absolutely, starched early on in this fight, it could be like just a crippling week for the UFC. Again, Conor's not going to win this fight. I've told Kirk Metzler that. Unfortunately for Conor fans, it's just not going to lay out the way they think it will. Floyd's too good. Like him or hate him, you're not 49-0 by accident. So Floyd knows knows what he's doing, and he's just, Conor fans got to realize that. They have to realize that it's a whole different animal they're facing, and it's just it's reality, folks, and they have to realize that. And it is, again, Jeff, it is. It's definitely two different sports. Like I touched on earlier in the video, it is. It's the sweet science and combat sports. It is going to come down to the precision. Once Floyd, he's going to be able to withstand some of the bingo. See, you're making my points for me, man. Again, like you said on this, Mayweather would get absolutely murdered in the octagon. Same situation here applies. It's not going to be. It'll be competitive the first 5 rounds, 5 or 6 when Mayweather's going or when Conor's going after Floyd. And then after that, once Floyd figures you out, it's game over. He's going to wear you down with the precision strikes, and it's going to end. What's that? I just got I just saw a little tweet that came through from my buddy at Front Proof Media. I was just curious, talking about Floyd, but it's just the chances of Conor winning, like I said, are going to be early on. After that, it's just, unfortunately, it's not going to happen. It's going to be worn down. So, that's going to be the best case scenario there for Conor fans is, he lasts the entire 12 rounds, which I think he will. He's just not going to come away with a victory like they think he will. So, it's been an interesting week once again in combat sports. Usually it provides, MMA always provides for that. There's interesting moments, and this is just another one. This entire week, again, leading up to it, it's gonna be fun the next couple of days to see exactly what you hear. But it is overall, it's gonna be the prelim card for this fight is gonna be fantastic. So make sure, if you're watching it, make sure you check it out. There's gonna be some great fights on the undercard in this, in this fight. So make sure you check it out. It's gonna be good. Triple G Canelo. Who do I like? Man, that's a tough one. I'm leaning Triple G. I think he adds it is a tough one, man. It's a very tough one. I'm leaning Triple G. That's going to be a good one. September 16th. That's another fight you don't want to miss. Great fight. I don't know. I'm leaning Triple G for now. I'll let you know later on because I can tell you right now I'm still trying to figure that out. But I'm gonna have to wrap it up here. I'm heading home. Make sure you guys make sure you follow us on Twitter at I am Chris Asbrock, and our combat sports is at FTI Combat Sports. You can always check us out. FeelTheImpactSports.com. If you want to write for me, that'd be great. Let me know. Just hit me a message up on Twitter. That'd be great if anyone's interested in writing. It's been kind of tough to get stuff out there. It's just myself right now. Looking at some more people coming up here, but we're going to be doing a podcast coming up here. Myself and Jen Kim. We're going to be looking to do the podcast previewing this fight. So make sure you guys check it out. Everyone have yourselves a fantastic night, and we will talk to you later on.